they were interviewing this person, and they said, they went through all these studies on happiness, and they said, if you don't have enough money, where you worry about feeding your kids, worry about getting to school, worry about your mortgage, that really impacts the happiness. If you've got too much, then all of a sudden you get consumed with it. I got to have more. What am I going to do with all my money? What if the market crashes? And that creates stress. And they said there's this point in the middle that you got to find where you got enough where you're not worried about going to dinner at night or taking a vacation, taking care of your family, but it doesn't own you.
So much fun today talking to Mr. Nashville himself, law firm owner and restaurateur, attorney Jim Higgins of the Higgins Law Firm. So today, Jim elaborates on how he is marketing and growing the nursing home abuse cases within his PI firm. So if you're a PI firm and you're considering growing or getting into these case types, you do not want to miss my conversation. I am so grateful for his time and insight into his world. So without further ado, let's get into it. Jim, how are you today? I'm so excited to talk to you.
Yeah, I am excited to talk as always.
Well, all right. Tell everybody who you are, what do you do, and where do you do it?
Sure. I am Jim Higgins. I'm a lawyer in Nashville. Been here my whole life. My dad is dead. A bunch of West Nashville rednecks. He was a judge here forever, had a small practice, and then I built a kind of not smart enough to do anything else, I guess. So I went to law business and have built a practice. We do about 80%, if not more, nursing home neglect cases, Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, about 30 of it, about 10 lawyers, 30 staff and all included. And majority of our cases come from other law firms, big appetizers, things like that. Cool.
So you said this was a family thing. Did you ever consider any other route, or was this is it? This is how I'm doing.
Lazy child. Oh, wait, no. Because I was so lazy when I first went to college, I was going to I thought, I could be a dentist, maybe I make good money. The hygienists do all the real dirty work. You come in and, talk to them while their mouth's full. So you don't really have to have a big conversation. But then I realized you actually had to study and know science. And I'm like, I'm going to law school. I'll just do that. There's no black and white answers. You just, argue whatever your client wants you to argue. It's the best.
It was worked out, Jim. Yes. It's worked out. Okay, so I was reading that you started defending insurance companies. That is an interesting start, but it probably props you up pretty well on this side of things. Was that interesting? Did you enjoy that?
I learned a ton, and it was great to practice on that side and bring that with me to a victim's plaintiff side to kind of know how the insurance carriers are going to size them up, what they think's important. So it was a real valuable tool. And I had it was a grind like any of those big insurance firms. And, they work your butt off. But it was such a great training ground. And I was now those guys send me business, and, because they get conflicted out. But things they said to me and taught me and, the simple stuff from, measure twice, cut once. And, just, it was a great training ground for me to be a better lawyer.
Yeah. So you mentioned this earlier, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia. So your firm is based, like we said, in Tennessee, but you're licensed in Kentucky and Georgia. What was the idea of that? So the reason I ask is the only people watching our videos, other than my mom, my husband, are other lawyers, right? So it's, and you never know. I've heard of lawyers who are still practicing at big law, first job, getting ready to start their own firm. So maybe from that angle of a lawyer saying, I wonder why he's doing that. Should I do that? What is the idea, the business strategy behind that?
I think I wrestle with that a little bit. I think when so many of us lawyers, especially, and people that are watching your podcast, you have this inner desire to grow. And there are times where, my firm that I started with was big. And I say, I don't want to be so big that I don't know everybody one of the things we do when we hire is like, I want to go to dinner with this person. Like we all like each other. And when that we try to keep, and it doesn't mean, like family get in arguments and disagreements, but I have such a great group. It is so nice to walk into. So I do wrestle sometimes of, one, I want to grow because you're an entrepreneur and we have this model set up. We have an expert set up. We got this machine set up. So it gets easier to plug more in. And my lawyers are profit based. A lot of times, they get bonuses based on what they bring in addition to that. So they want to grow. And so we just kind of just not keep expanding. But there are times where I'm like, all right, is it time to put the brakes? Am I happy? Is this enough? You see people that spend so much that they don't enjoy it. So that has always been a little bit of a wrestle for me. But one of my exit strategies is I have younger partners now. And I feel this needs to keep growing for them.
That question of, that's so funny. I was just having that inner dialogue this weekend. I was out walking, and as a business owner, those walks, right, of like, God, I'm in another planet. And I was thinking and strategizing, and I just I live in beautiful Fort Lauderdale, and I was like overlooking the water. And I don't have everything. I don't have the largest business, but I have a wonderful life, I have an amazing marriage, family. It's like, okay, Ashley, but when is it enough? I don't know. And I understand I'm young and I have many years to go, but I just don't understand do you ever come to that contentment place? I don't know.
I read, how you'll read things, or it might have been a NPR or something, and they just, sometimes things stick with you. They resonate with you. And they were interviewing this person, and they said, they went through all these studies on happiness, and they said, okay, there's just this where the lines intersect. They said, if you don't have enough money, where you worry about feeding your kids, worry about getting to school, worry about your mortgage, that really impacts the happiness. If you've got too much, then all of a sudden you get consumed with it. I got to have more. What am I going to do with all my money? What if the market crashes? And that creates stress. And they said there's this point in the middle that you got to find where you got enough, or you're not worried about going to dinner at night or taking a vacation, taking care of your family, but it doesn't own you. Mm-hmm. And where that is probably different. I told another lawyer friend of mine that one time. She's like, oh, nope, mine's way up here. I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm like, you go here.
Yeah. Yeah. And everybody's, to your point, everybody's intersection is different. How you grew up probably drastically changes that.
Yeah.
Being a parent, there's probably so many things. Owning a business, and then, understanding the pressure. That's something that I wasn't prepared for when I started hiring employees, just the pressure of, I have mouths to feed, mm-hmm. and their mouths and their mouth, like that is a distinct pressure. So yeah, I'm sure it's different for everyone. So talk to me about the Talk of the Town TV show you do. I watched so many of those. You movie star, So for those of you, again, who are not familiar with the Nashville market, that seems to be a local, like segment before maybe local broadcast, that Jim is on. So when did that start? Why? And does it produce leads? Do you guys see it's a lead generator?
Yes. So here's where it works for me. So when I graduate, I've been doing this 30 years or something. And so what started happening is everybody's seen in their state, especially if you're in the injury world, is all these huge firms started rolling in, right? You always had one big spender in your city. And if you looked at the tier in Nashville, it was probably big spender, spender. And then there's like this next level. And I was probably in that next level. I mean, we spent enough to get noticed, but I've used it. Then all of a sudden, people started coming in and pumping in so much money that it was just hard to compete with all that noise. And you kind of pitch to your strengths, and my strength is this. I don't know why, but because I generally like people and I think it comes through, and I generally feel for people. And so I can get on those shows and I get more than 30 seconds and I can say something stupid. I can tell a joke. I don't know. And I will see people and it's like they know me. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to get through the call me now. And so what I realized is my marketing to stand out has to be different. And so, and especially I've done those shows for 15 years, on the morning shows and all that. And the great thing about it is you get the video, you put it on your website. It gives you this, all of a sudden people think, he's the expert, even though I'm paying for it. Right. And well, if the TV's talking to him about this and it gives you just a little more time in front of them. And now, and I didn't even have this when I first did it, man, we're throwing it on our Instagram. We're throwing it out on our reels. We're popping up. So you get all this extra added value to it so I like it. I think it's valuable.
What is the cadence? How often are you doing it?
Well, I used to do it. I used to hate it, man. I used to have to do it like every once or twice a month and be down there early. And then finally you want to record this? I'm like, yes. Oh my God. Yes. And so now we don't do it that much. I've got so many just stacked up that I do it.
That's great.
We run the other thing we do to compete with the big guys is my budget. I run advertising in that. And I'll tell you, I probably do 8 of those a year, right? I think about once a month, one of those comes out. Okay. But, we also do some TV stuff, really specific commercials, like on nursing homes, things like that. But we will concentrate those over a 2 or 3 month period so that my budget looks like a big budget. So like I'm running as big as the big guys for, January, February, and March. And then I'm like, okay, I'm out of money. But when I'm hitting it, I am dominating, and we narrow down the channels. So like, all right, I can only afford to dominate. So let's dominate this section here. This is my normal demographic for nursing home cases. So that's kind of how it would be.
Okay. So the marketer in me has to ask on those programs. I notice at the end, the call to action is a phone call. And I know it's a lot branding too. A lot of it is just name, but the call to action is phone call. Is that a tracking number? Are you all able to track how many leads you're getting for it?
We use call rep and everything. But you have yeah. Is it valuable anymore? I don't know.
What, the tracking?
Yeah, I mean, it is, but people get to you through so many different touches now. I still, not too long ago, it's been a while, but you would say, hey, so where'd you hear from us? Right. Yeah, your trainer people do that. Yellow pages. Okay. Or POBUG. I mean, they just say stuff. Like, half the time they don't even know. And me, I don't even know if I would put that phone number in there. I wrestled with that.
What about, have you thought about a QR code?
I think that's where I'm going next. Don't you think?
Yeah. I think you put a QR code because the phone number wasn't until the end.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching it. I try to put myself in the user a lot, right? It's hard when you're so absorbed with your brand. But when I'm in a new law firm, I can do that. I can change my locator, put myself in their market. So I did that when I was watching your stuff. And I'm like, well, let me Google you. So you all have a few different websites that come up. You've got like a workers' comp website. Well, I have them pulled up here. Another one, employment lawyer. So I was like, oh, okay, that could be a little confusing. I would do the QR code. So then there's no confusion. All of them are going to land on your same website, but you want them to land on your main website, I would imagine, or even a dedicated landing page. Yeah. So hit them with that QR code the whole time. The little local TV show, they would put it up there. Yeah. Well, they wouldn't. I like that. They wouldn't mind.
And don't you think it makes you look current? Even if people they're like, these guys, they're techie.
Yep. Yep. I mean, it's amazing what happened during COVID. The QR code was a dying trait in like the marketing world. It was kind of like you kind of almost made fun of it. And then, yeah. And then they start coming back during COVID for menus. And it was like, oh, this works. So now, I mean, Jim, you and I met at a conference. On everything, we have QR codes and they're all different tracking.
I got yours. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because for us, our call to action is not phone call. We want you to submit a form because we need to know a bunch of information about you before we even get on a call to know if it's a good opportunity and can we even work with you? Can we even help you? So we don't want you to call. So it's very different for law firms, but even within law firms, depending upon the case type, the matter type, you might not want them to call. So what is the call to action? And you guys have the chat bot, which is great. So you're really able to capture from many different angles. But I think you should try the QR code and maybe test it. Like, I love a good A/B test. Test it for 3 or 4 months. Do you get more form fills versus phone calls from the call roll number? Take the phone call off.
Yes.
And then it'd be a fun test.
Sold. I'm going to do it.
Okay, I have to know. Yeah, I have to know. Okay, so take me into now in the marketing conversation. What are a few of your top lead sources? So you mentioned referrals from other law firm owners. What are some other lead sources? As a SEO, paid ads, you mentioned TV. What does that look like?
I'd say our biggest are, yes, we do a lot of Google AdWords, local. I am trying. I really feel that the YouTube ads, I'm on them now that I want to dominate YouTube apps, and I'm trying to figure out, and I'm doing it a couple of different ways so my clients are truly other lawyers, right? And this is a weird thing in Tennessee. So Tennessee, we had tort reform come in. We've got $750 cap on non-economic damages. And so for nursing home cases, big firms don't want to, they left Tennessee when that happened. They created the need for that. And then the legislature says, oh, okay, everybody started flooding us because we didn't have caps. Then they all left. But since we knew how to run nursing home cases, we had to ratchet up and run it like a volume. It's very hard to get in here. There's still expensive cases. There's still hard cases, right? So all that being said, we're one of the few law firms in Tennessee that runs nursing home cases like this. So my clients are other lawyers. So one of the things I'm doing is I've got a commercial we just did that's attention lawyers. If you get a nursing home case and you don't do it, then send it to me. Send it to the Higgins Firm. You're going to get a check. Client's going to be happy. We'll fight for them together. And it's all true, right? And I like that commercial and I want to try it in a city because I think my hope is that if a regular, a potential client sees it without the referral lawyer, they'll go, lawyers are sending this guy cases. Maybe. Now that may be one too many. I'm not sure. So I want to try it because I do always find it too that you got to make the ask, right? And so
you got to make the ask.
More direct is better.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea with video.
I want to see. We'll see. I'll let you know how that goes too. And I want to do it on YouTube also. And so I've been creating a target list for other lawyers, based on websites they visit, locations, things like that. And I keep hammering at it, and I'm not sure if it's going to pick up steam or not. We'll see. But I get targeted by AI, right? I'm sure you do too. Like Even Up, right? Does the AI demands, software are starting to pop on my YouTube website, which is always on my personal email. So they've gone, right, one more to me. So I want to copy them and do that for my commercial with other lawyers. And then the other thing that's really great that, as you kind of said, once technology came around, post-COVID, all that, everybody does e-newsletters and we do them. But I'm mailing, buddy. I do the old 2-page. First page is this is the lawyer fees I sent out this quarter. I sent a guy $30,000. I said this is the kind of nursing home case it was. Big, here's a sample referral contract we use for our lawyers that send us business because it has been approved by the ethics board. Here's how you send us a new nursing home case. And every time I mail that out, I get a few cases.
That's great. Do you put a QR code on that?
No, but I'm going to now.
Yeah. We did that with a PI firm he's PI criminal in California recently. And just more old school. You are not doing it because you're old school thinking. You're doing it opposite reason of like creative tracking, you're doing it for many different reasons. He was like, no, I want to do it because it keeps working. And we were like, hey, let's just see if it's working. I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying a lot of marketing is just throwing spaghetti on the walls, but in an organized fashion. I at least know this wall will work, but I don't know what part of the wall. So let's track within a couple months. I'll know. With marketing, you got to have patience and you got to be brave.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes brave comes before patience and vice versa. So just throw a tracking code on it to see how many people are actually looking at it, and then start mixing up your call to action. I love the fact that you put wins on there. Cause it's like so ballsy and in your face of like, I love that. I love that. But then you could like, that's just such a fun thing about marketing is like, you can mix it up, like try putting that on the first page, try putting it on the second page with different call to actions. And you can get insane with it. But as long as you've got a team or a vendor to track it, it's like, yeah, why not?
Right.
Why not try it? What about, okay, so with video, we know that native Hispanic speakers use YouTube as their number one search engine. So they're not even using Google first. They're going to YouTube. They're who, what, where, when, and why on YouTube, and they're watching videos. So I just don't know the Hispanic demographic in your area. And if there is one, maybe doing Hispanic videos. So that's not for other lawyers, but that's more for the user.
Yes.
So those could be two different segmented audience. That's something we're seeing work. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's something we're seeing work more recently is for that Hispanic market. That's where they're going first. And again, that's not us. That's the beautiful thing about the world we live in now. That's not us guessing. That's YouTube and Google telling us that. Right.
That is a valuable piece of knowledge. Thank you.
Yeah, try that. What about folks who are just organically searching for nursing home? Are they finding you through your SEO efforts?
SEO, a lot of it is it again, it's all that together, right? You got to be everywhere. So yes, we pop up. We're pretty strong in SEO just organically. We also do the PPC. The good thing about when they're searching for a nursing home lawyer, they don't generally search for injury lawyer or those broad terms. So you can have a pretty heavy or reasonable budget and dominate pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's funny that other people that are advertising for it, and we'll get a little kickback sometimes. Like if we look at a nursing home case and we look at it, we go, we just don't think this is a case. You call the state and tell them what happened and this and that, but we just don't think you want to go through litigation and we can't take it. They'll call us back 3 times and say, everybody's telling us to call you. And that's because most of those people on the first page now are people I've sent checks to, and they're like, oh, I want more checks. And so they'll advertise for it. Now, obviously, selfishly, I'd rather them, come directly to me to save me that percentage off. But so
yeah. Man, you're
I don't know what about the AI. I keep my next fear, and we're popping on it, and I'm figuring out how to do it is, everybody knows now that it's moving towards chat and AI searches and all that. So how are we going to on that?
Yeah. Yeah. I search for you. Again, I do this with any podcast guest or any prospect client. I search for you this morning organically and on AI.
Yeah. On AI at all? Don't make me sad.
I know. I don't want to lie to you.
Yeah. You search here's the funny thing. I do like you, right? Because that's my job now. It's a lot of this is I can visit my son in Chicago or my daughter in Vermont or wherever. I'll even try to different states and I'll put it on the VPN and I'll do the search. And for nursing home, I've been popping up in AI and I had a client tell me they did it.
Yeah, you probably did for nursing home. That's fair. I said I go through the list of again, how we see how most people are searching best lawyer in Nashville, best PI. Because and those are the hardest terms for us. Our main practice is organic. We do paid, we do video. Organic, SEO, and video are our 2 biggest front runners. So I'm searching just how most people are searching, which annoyingly they search for the hardest terms. But that's the point, right? It's like, oh, why would you do best PI firm in Nashville? Of course, you've got to do it the way that they're searching. And then nursing home is interesting too, because your organic SEO, our organic SEO efforts are really targeting that victim's child, sister, husband, brother. And they search, their mindset, they search differently. Just like for our criminal lawyers, we're not targeting the convicted criminal. We're targeting their family member. They're in jail.
That's
so it's
about that. So
yeah, it's from the marketing standpoint. You just have to look at it from a different lens. Okay, Jim, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Tell people, what I found so interesting, many things when you and I were talking, but your business endeavors are not just in law firm. You have restaurants. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What is, everyone says the last business you want to own is a restaurant, but you tell me, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. It depends on where you are in life. I've enjoyed, my wife calls it our future divorce / bankruptcy. I have a partner that we do some real estate deals, and I had a friend that was the restaurant. I grew up in Nashville, and my real estate partner's like, let's do a restaurant. I'm like, I don't do a restaurant, but we did, and it's been fun. And it's kind of done. It helped put my kids through school. It is a tough business. But I got, one thing I've learned, whether it's law practice, restaurant, real estate, whatever, is I am just smart enough to realize who smart people are and surround myself with them.
There you go.
And I can tell a joke. I'm fun to hang out with. And so I get really smart people and be like, hey, come help me do this restaurant.
Yeah.
That's so I've got good people around me that handle it all. It's fun. We have all our office parties there. Okay. We are the official law firm of Nashville Soccer Club. So we did a party with them there to add some players. It is, again, that kind of guerrilla marketing. It does work. I'm an old politics guy. So everybody I like that's running for judge, we do a big fundraiser from there. So it does weirdly I make everything fit together.
That's cool. That's cool. Which one's harder, restaurant or law firm?
Well, making money, the restaurant, but stress, the law firm for me. But I'm not in the kitchen.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Metaphorically, are you in the kitchen on the law firm? Are you still practicing?
I do. I probably have 6 cases of people that I really like or cases that I like, and I'll help young lawyers. But no, I found that I was getting to be I love it still. I tried a case with a young lawyer a few months ago and we did well and it was good. But I was kind of being a half-ass lawyer and a half-ass businessman, and I had to make that choice. And they're my lawyers now that work for me. They're young, they're smart, they're aggressive, they have that fire. And so it was tough for me to kind of get out of their way and let them, get after it.
You got to be the pretty face of both. Well, Jim, thank you so much for your time today. I'm really grateful. I know you're a very busy man. Appreciate your time. Enjoyed the conversation. For those who are watching this, how can they find you, get a hold of you? You're everywhere, but how would you like them to get a hold of you?
Shoot, they can email me, Jim@HigginsFirm.com, or they can just go to HigginsFirm.com. Or pretty soon, I'm going to have little QR codes everywhere. Just look for those. The mayor of Nashville. Thank you for your time, sir. Thank you so much. Bye.